All right, so ready to dive into some pretty fascinating stuff today. We're talking law of attraction. We're doing a deep dive into those notes you had from the Manifest Your Life with Zen M podcast.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, this whole attracts idea, it's really got me thinking.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ideas that really captures the imagination, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to have a hand in shaping their own reality?
Exactly. And speaking of shaping reality, the Zen M podcast, they start off with this idea, everything is energy. Everything, even our thoughts, those little things we have buzzing around all day, those are energy too. And get this, they emit vibrations that the universe picks up on, and then, well, it kind of responds in kind. What do you think about that?
It's not just about, closing your eyes and wishing for things to magically appear, is it?
Oh.
It's more about, how can I say this? It's about actively aligning your energy to match what you're hoping to manifest. It's like setting an intention, but
Yeah.
on a much deeper level, a more energetic level,
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm starting to get a feel for this. It's kind of like tuning into a specific radio frequency, but instead of music, we're tuning our energy to match our desires. But here's the thing that really got me. They said the law of attraction doesn't have an off switch. So that means we're always manifesting, even when we don't realize it,
Yeah,
right?
And that's why being mindful of what we're thinking and feeling is so important.
Mhm.
Because, and this is a big one, what we focus on really does expand. It's almost like a magnifying glass, Whatever we focus on, good or bad, it gets amplified.
Wow, yeah, I can see that. And they had this really interesting example about money. They were saying if you're constantly stressing about bills or debt or just not having enough, you're actually, ironically, amplifying the energy of lack. But if you can shift your focus to abundance, even if you haven't quite achieved it yet, it's like you're sending out this invitation for that energy to flow into your life, almost like you're preparing the soil for growth, even before the first sprout breaks through.
And that can be surprisingly tough to do. Our brains, they have this built-in negativity bias. It's like a holdover from our, caveman ancestors. Those who were hyper-aware of threats, they were more likely to survive. So consciously choosing to focus on the positive, it takes effort. It's like we have to retrain our brains to tune into a different channel, one that's playing a more positive, hopeful tune.
It's like we're hitting that seek button to find the station that's playing upbeat music instead of the emergency broadcast, right?
Okay.
But how do we even know if we're tuned to the right station, so to speak? The Zen M podcast mentioned something called the emotional guidance system. Any idea what that's all about?
Oh, yeah, that. Now, this is where our emotions get really interesting. Think of it this way. Positive emotions are like green lights. They're telling you, hey, you're on the right track. You're aligned with what you desire. Negative emotions, well, they're like yellow or red lights. They're saying, hold on, something's not quite aligned here. It doesn't mean those negative emotions are bad, though. They're just signals, information for you to look at.
So if I'm feeling excited, inspired, full of energy, that's a good sign.
You bet. Those feel-good emotions. That's your confirmation that your energy is vibing with your desires. But even if you're having a day where you're feeling anxious, doubtful, even a little fearful, listen, don't beat yourself up about it, okay? It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just information. It's a sign to take a moment, check in with yourself, and see what you might be giving your attention to in that moment.
Okay, so no more guilt trips for having a bad vibe day. Got it. It's just information. But what about those times when you're doing all the right things? You're visualizing, thinking positive thoughts, but it still feels like nothing's happening. That can be super frustrating, right?
That, my friend, is where the art of allowing comes into play. The podcast had this analogy I really liked. Imagine you're at a restaurant, you've placed your order, but instead of relaxing and trusting the chef, you're constantly running back into the kitchen, demanding to know every little detail. You're trying to micromanage the entire process.
I can see where this is going. You're saying we're supposed to trust the chef to do their thing, right? Trust the process.
Precisely. It's about releasing that need to control the how, and simply trusting that the universe, or your higher self, whatever resonates with you, has received your order and is working on it. It doesn't mean you have to be passive, just sitting on the couch waiting for things to happen. It's more about taking inspired action when it feels right, and then letting go of the need to micromanage the outcome.
So I've placed my order with the cosmic kitchen, and now I need to jot chill. Trust the cosmic delivery system. Easier said than done sometimes, right?
You said it. Especially in our world today where everything is go, 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 we're constantly pushing for results. But learning to allow, it's a crucial part of the law of attraction recipe. It's about surrendering to the journey, being present in the process, and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way.
It's like we're placing our order and then we got to learn to like enjoy the anticipation, Trust that the meal is being prepared with care. But speaking of taking action, the Zen M podcast, they didn't just leave us hanging with theory, they actually gave some pretty concrete techniques for putting this law of attraction stuff into practice.
Right. They talk about visualization, affirmations, and gratitude.
Yeah, those are like the classics, right? But there's a reason they're so popular, I guess. What is it about these techniques that makes them especially powerful in this, law of attraction context?
Well, I think it all boils down to consciously directing your energy and focus. So with visualization, you're essentially creating a mental movie, a really vivid one of what you want to experience.
So it's not just like vaguely picturing it in your mind's eye.
Not at all. The Zen M podcast, they really emphasize making it a full-on sensory experience. What's it look like? Sound like? How does it make you feel? Engaging all your senses like that, it makes the goal feel so much more real, so much more attainable.
It's like sending a high-definition surround sound request to that cosmic kitchen we were talking about. I like it. But okay, affirmations. I gotta be honest, those always felt a little weird to me, like I'm trying to convince myself of something I don't actually believe yet.
I hear you. It's all about how you approach them, though. The key is to think of affirmations not as wishful thinking, but more like a gentle way to reprogram those subconscious thought patterns we've accumulated over the years. Remember that negativity bias we were talking about? Affirmations are they're like a gentle antidote to that,
Yeah.
They help you replace those limiting beliefs with ones that are more empowering.
So instead of saying, "Ugh, I'm never going to be able to afford that," it's more about shifting to something like, I am open and receptive to abundance flowing into my life.
Now you're getting it. It's not about denying where you are right now. It's about choosing to view your circumstances through a more empowering lens, a lens that opens you up to new possibilities.
I love that. Choosing a different lens. It's like swapping out those like gray tinted glasses for a pair that lets you see the world in full color, right? And speaking of positive perspectives, we can't forget about gratitude. That one seems to pop up everywhere these days, and for good reason.
Absolutely. Gratitude is so essential because it immediately shifts your focus to what's already working in your life. It's like this beautiful reminder to appreciate the good no matter how small, and in doing so, you naturally raise your vibration, and that, my friend, attracts even more things to be grateful for.
It's like a positive feedback loop. The more you appreciate, the more you find to appreciate. It's like a gratitude snowball. Have you found that to be true in your own life?
Oh, absolutely. It's a pretty incredible cycle to tap into. And it goes back to what we're saying about the negativity bias. We have to actively train our minds to notice the good, to savor those positive aspects of our lives. Otherwise, our brains, they just default to that old negativity setting.
It really makes you wonder, though, if this law of attraction is always kind of like humming in the background, shaping our reality, what are we unintentionally manifesting with all those random thoughts we have swirling around in our heads all day long?
Now, that is a powerful question, and it really gets to the heart of why this concept is so intriguing. Because if we really are creating our reality with our thoughts and feelings, well, that means we have a responsibility to become more aware of what we're putting out there, right?
It's like we've been given this amazing power, but now we have to, learn to use it wisely.
Exactly. It's a call to step into our roles as conscious creators, to become more mindful, more intentional about the energy we're putting out there, because we really do have more influence than we might realize.
Whoa, okay, so it's like we're these walking radio towers or something, constantly sending out signals and attracting similar vibes right back to us.
I like that. A network of energy, all interconnected. And the best part, you get to choose what you broadcast.
So it's not like we have to force ourselves to be positive 24/7, like fake it till you make it.
No, not at all. It's more about awareness. You notice those thoughts, those feelings, and you get to decide, is this the frequency I want to align with? It's about making conscious choices, You are in the driver's seat.
This deep dive has been amazing, seriously. I feel like I've got this whole new understanding of what the law of attraction really is. It's not some like magical genie in a bottle thing. It's about understanding the very real power of our own energy.
And it is powerful. And the crazy thing is that power, it's always there. It's not something you have to earn or unlock. It's already within you. It's just a matter of like plugging into it,
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the law of attraction, I want to leave everyone with something to think about. If this law is always at work, always shaping the reality around us. What kind of energy are you putting out there into the universe today? What are you, maybe without even realizing it, and writing into your life? What little tweaks can you make right now to start aligning with those experiences you're really hoping for?
That's what it's all about. Remember, you are a powerful creator. So choose your energy wisely. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
It really has. Until next time, everyone, keep those vibes high.